The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, your house is your most valuable possession. When do you know you need new windows? When do you know you need a new roof? These are very important questions that cause a lot of damage. We'll answer them. It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Student loan debt have you spinning out of control? Call me today or visit youhavepower.com. Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, with my attorney advice throughout the way. Any questions whatsoever during the show, I have people standing by to answer them. Phone number will be right here the entire time. It's 407-205-0400. Dallas Lehman, as always, is standing by at that very same phone number as well. It's going to be quite a show today, I assure you. It's going to be jam-packed and amazing. You will not want to miss a single second. But first, the opening statement. Today's show is going to be interesting because, look, you own a house. It's the most valuable investment you have now, probably that you've ever had. When do you know it's time to change the windows? When do you know it's time to update or replace your roof? These are very important questions when it comes to home ownership. We're going to answer those questions. Also, a big celebration today I'm going to tell you about. My good buddy also is behind there I'm going to talk to later, and some fantastic listings to show you as well. We're going to answer all of that, and we're going to answer those questions by asking real questions. Every Saturday here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. I kick it off today with our good buddy, real estate agent Eric Mock. Eric, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, Justin. Thanks.
Good to see you. And I always celebrate the fact you're here, but this person now to my right, it's a real celebration, at least on Tuesday for you. Rachel Plakon is here, big winner in the Florida legislative race now. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And obviously interesting for you because you're taking over where your husband left off in a lot of ways, but you also did it while having a beautiful young baby too. I don't know how you ran that race and did the motherhood thing as well. How'd that go?
Well, as ladies, we could multitask, Justin. So
That's
you
right.
know,
I would
you
never
could ask
disagree
just
with
about
that.
any mom. There's a lot we can do and get done.
What is it like running for office? I think a lot of people in the back of their head are like, you know what, I've made my money now, or I'm bored, whatever it is. I'm going to run for office. It can't be that hard, right?
Well, it does become quite a full-time job.
It is.
But at the same time, it's a tremendous opportunity to give back to the community. You just have to have clear goals that you want to get accomplished. And you go meet with influencers in the community and see if they will come on board and then endorse you. And then you have to do a lot of fundraising too.
Yeah, it's
so
tough.
It takes a lot of money to get your message out.
It is.
And you stay on the phone quite a bit, just calling people and asking. But what I like to do is ask them to buy into my vision for Florida. The money didn't go to me. It went into getting the vision for Florida accomplished.
Right.
And hopefully we'll be able to do that coming up here pretty soon.
And you do have a background as a real estate broker, but now you're going into at a weird time for Florida with this homeowners insurance issue that we have
Yes.
going on. I think there's a special session, if I'm not mistaken, in December.
In December, that's correct. They have not laid out the dates yet, but the last time I was here, the legislature was going into a special session to fix this very issue. Now, this is my first time running. This will be my first session in December. But the previous legislature did go a few months ago. They were able to accomplish a few things. They were able to get more incentives for hurricane hardening. And they were also able to crack down on some of the scams going around with certain trial attorneys and certain roofing contractors, which there's good people in both of those sectors, but there are some scams going around that we need to continue to crack down on.
Yeah, homeowners insurance is becoming difficult for people, for regular people who are getting a W-2. They know exactly how much they're making every single 2 weeks or month or week, Eric. And really, when people buy a house, I think they're buying a payment more than they are a house because they know what they can spend or afford on their house. And when the insurance rates continue to skyrocket, it does make a difference monthly. How do you address that when you're working with a buyer when it comes time to figure out how much house they can afford?
You know, one of the things, Justin, that I talk with clients about is do the pre-work. I mean, go out there, do the pre-work, do the pre-qualification, do the pre-approval, and then sit down and say, do you currently have an insurance company that you're working with? Have you talked to them? Have you talked to them about this possibility, this house is going to be a little bit larger, it's going to be this location, and try and get a ballpark, at least a ballpark of what they would write as far as an insurance policy for them.
Do you ever see insurance killing a deal that's gotten close to the closing table, whether it's for the seller or the buyer? Does insurance ever pop up and be like, uh-oh, we have a claim, or uh-oh, no one will insure this house? Is that ever a problem?
Well, for me, it has not.
Okay.
But as I go at it, I don't want to have those last-minute surprises.
Oh, yeah.
So I work really hard to, ensure that when we get to that closing table, all the information that you need is known, and you sit down, and then you can sit down and say, we can do this.
Yeah, it's better to bring that up at the beginning, I guess, than the end.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's right, and it can also be an issue with the lender. They want to make sure that their money is covered, that their investment is covered. Should anything happen, should they get that property back?
Absolutely.
And while it's in the hands of the buyer.
Yeah, absolutely right. So go ahead, please.
I'm sorry.
No.
One thing that could become an issue too is we have a lot of people going to Citizens Insurance now, which is supposed to be the insurer of last resort, right? But we've got over 1 million people on it now, and when we have a hurricane in South Florida, the unfortunate part is that a lot of people in Florida that haven't Citizens Insurance is going to get assessed.
Yes.
And so we're more than likely going to see an assessment of about 15% of the premiums coming up here pretty soon. And that's really going to be tough on a lot of families.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see a property that's on the market right now, this is Horseshoe Bend. Eric, where is this?
So this is 3310 Horseshoe Bend Court in Longwood. This is in Aliqua Lakes.
Oh, okay.
So it's behind the gated community where the golf course is. Beautiful home, corner lot, 4,362 square feet. It's a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath property. It's got a beautiful backyard. It's a little over a half an acre. And this is quite an opportunity for someone to get into that community. And if you get in there, you're going to probably, walk in with some equity from day one. It's listed at 1.299.
Beautiful house there. If you'd like to see this property, 407-205-0400. Eric, always a pleasure to see you. Let's do it again soon. Rachel, congratulations. Tell Scott hi. I know you're going to kill it up in Tallahassee. And you already know your way to Tallahassee. You've been there enough,
Thank you so much.
Is it exactly 4 hours or what? 3.5?
It's about 4 hours.
4 hours on the nose, I figured. Congratulations. Great to see you as always, Rachel.
You too.
Here's what we're going to do. Very quick break. When we return, windows and doors, especially those windows, you don't know. If you own a house and your windows are old, your electricity bill is skyrocketing. Dan Brigman's going to be here to tell us how getting windows is not as expensive as you might think. In fact, you might be able to save money monthly by installing new windows because that electricity bill is going to go down substantially. Dan Brigman with Renewal by Andersen joins us after this quick break as You Have Real Estate continues. Do IRS threats have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark and Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your IRS debt. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Welcome back to the show. A lot of people always think, oh, I'm gonna go get solar on my house, which is great. I have solar too, I get it. But one of the reasons, maybe the main reason people get solar is to lower that electricity bill. But you don't hear people talking about your windows. Think about the windows in your house. They're old. The air that's pumping all summer long is just sneaking right out of these old windows. You don't think that new windows is going to substantially decrease your electricity bill, but I've seen it firsthand, and that is what happens. No one better to ask about that than Dan Brigman. He's here, Renewal by Andersen. Dan, it's true. People talk about solar all the time, but they don't talk about how new windows can lower that electricity bill.
They sure don't, Justin. And by the way, thanks so much for having me on. It's always a great pleasure to be here.
You're family to us now.
Well, hey, so you're right. When it comes to solar and windows, the first thing you have to remember about your home is if you were to take every window and line them up all the way around your house, would you believe that that's over 25 of the wall space of your whole home.
Really?
So it's like having 1.5 walls of your house completely bad or a door left open.
Yikes. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. That's like the ocean is what, 80% of the earth or something like that?
That's exactly. So when you put that into the equation,
Right.
and you've got hot heat shining on the outside, or even maybe we have a cool night, either one, you've got all this radiant or white light sun coming from and hitting essentially a magnifying glass, and you are trying to heat up what's 98 degrees outside. It's going to be 120, 130 degrees once it hits that glass. So your poor AC system is constantly blowing on that, and at the end of the day, you're talking about a 25, 35, 45% difference in your electric bill when you remove that out of your equation.
And I've done the math for some people on this before, and when you start talking about the deals that you have with no money down, no payments for 18 months, free consults, literally when you start looking at the payment that you have monthly for these windows and compare that to what you're saving with electricity bill, I've seen people, in essence, get free windows.
Yeah, depending on your situation, you're exactly right. If you've got a really bad situation, new windows will almost pay for themselves in a 10 to 15 year period of time, and so there'd be no reason not to get them.
Sure.
It will definitely pay for themselves, and there's a lot of other areas that you're going to save hundreds of thousands. I've heard you mention it many times on this show. Your home's your most valuable investment. When you even look outside of the electric bill and things going on around that window that you don't know, like water going down in the walls that you don't know until it's too late. And you add that damage, which is tens of thousands of dollars, on top of the price of the window. It almost makes sense, not to do it.
Yeah, and I like the family environment that you have. And like I was telling you before the show, when I think windows, I only think Renewal by Andersen. You're the top dogs, of course, but when you call them, they come to your house and treat you like family and really figure out what is best for you. 407-205-0400. And Dan was nice enough before the show to tell me 20% off windows, 20% off patio doors, 20% off installation for those of you that call that phone number. And I appreciate you doing that. But how do I know it's time? I don't see any water intrusion. Everything seems okay. I know they're old, but how do I know it's time to replace them?
Well, it's a great question because I say it all the time. None of us get up in the morning and just say, you know what, it's 7:30, it's time to check the windows.
Right.
We don't do that daily, and so you have to look for signs. And some of the biggest things are, especially after all this rain. Nicole, and you had Ian, and now you begin to see water infiltration coming through places of the wall you never saw around your window. So there's one. You've got seal failure. That's when the glass is fogging up on there. Aesthetics. Maybe you're just sick of the way your house looks. And all this wind we had, the windows, you have these old metal windows, they're beginning to rattle. So you have those ideas. You already mentioned one, Justin, high energy bills, right?
Sure.
That's it. Now you take that and you incorporate that with different hot and cold spots in the house. If your temperature's not even throughout the house, and you just have a standard AC system, the problem is the windows. End of story. And then you have the obvious that they're not working, or your safety's at hazard because your locks aren't right and things like that.
That's unbelievable. What are the benefits of using Renewal versus anyone else that's out there?
I get asked that question a lot. And one thing is, if I were to break it down into the 3 Ps, it's our people, it's our product, and it's our process. If you talk about our people, look, our number one goal is we are passionate about improving the place that you live. I can't really explain it any better than that. And our folks, we go through background checks. You've got honest, good people showing up at your house. We're not going to try to sell you or tell you something that you do not need. We don't do business that way. When it comes to the process is great. We have trained design consultants that actually come out to your home, hold your hand through the process. We ask you what's going on. We inspect what's going on. we have technology that allows us to design windows on site, and we have over 400 something odd different options that can make a house look like a brand new house at the same old address. So it's amazing what we can do. And so we do that, and we give you an on-site quote. Right now, we're crazy busy. We have a lot of customers with all the promotions you mentioned, so that's a little high level of one of the reasons. And then last, of course, not least, is when we're talking about why usually we are a big supporter of your community right here.
I know. Great. Always a pleasure to see you, Dan. You're doing a great job over there. And when it comes time to windows, or even to seeing if you need new windows, Renewal by Andersen is certainly the place to call. Again, 20% off if you call this number. Windows, patios, doors, installation. And for a lot of you, there's going to be no money down whatsoever, and you're saving money monthly off of your insurance bill. It's a no-brainer. Renewal by Andersen, 407-205-0400. A lot of storms have rolled through. You're seeing a little bit of a leaky roof. What do? It's up next as You Have Real Estate continues. Does credit card debt have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark and Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your credit card debt. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Welcome back to the show. You might have noticed we've had not one but two hurricanes roll through over the last month and a week, basically. So a lot of roof issues out there, a lot of water intrusion. When it comes to roofing, you got to be very careful about who you trust right now, because what happens is when we have a hurricane in Florida, you get these guys come down from Alaska or whatever, and they're really hurricane chasers at the end of the day. And you have to be very careful about who you trust when it comes to roofing, Universal Roof and Contracting. Obviously, we love you guys. Always a pleasure to see Justin and Corey. Welcome back to the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah. How do I know? How do I know it's time? How do I know it's time to call? A lot of people have seen water intrusion or a leak here or there. How do I know it's time to call you?
Yeah, I mean, really, the market is a very storm-related one right now for the obvious reasons. On a typical basis, I always tell people to get your roof inspected at least once a year, primarily after storm season. That way you give your home enough time to get battered by our summer storms and see at the end of that kind of how you escape. But right now, everybody should be getting their roof looked at, even if it's brand new.
Yeah, well, really, everybody.
Yeah, everybody right now. Yeah, it's just a good proactive way to take care of it.
What are some common things to look for after a storm that might indicate that there is something wrong?
Well, from inside, obviously brown spots in the ceiling. That's the call we're getting over and over and over again right now, is water intrusion has made itself seen. But if you're outside and you're looking, you see missing shingles in the yard, tons of granule loss, any kind of water buildup from gutters, that got backed up or anything, there's the chance that it could have intruded through the eaves. Those are great reasons to call. Also, if you're seeing neighbors with problems and you can't get a good look at your roof, that means that the same wind hit your house.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that something's going on at your own home.
How does that process work, and what are you going to charge me to come out?
Nothing. That's completely voluntary by our company. We're going to come out there for scot-free, and we're going to do a full inspection of your interior, exterior, and also your attic. So we want to make sure if there's anything happening on the roof side, we want to be able to diagnose that from inside the attic as well, just to tie everything together, connect all the dots so that we can take care of you properly.
Yeah, you should do yourself a favor and call 407-205-0400. Right now. This is a fantastic and very reputable company. As you know, you've heard about these guys, but am I lying, or are there really hurricane chasers out there?
Oh yeah, I mean we're getting the homeowners that have already unfortunately signed papers, and then the ones that are just annoyed to death by knocks on their door over and over and over again. So yeah, as you mentioned, just be careful. Make sure it's a licensed, insured, Florida company, somebody who works here, that they're not out of state. Because you want to know who's touching your roof. Not only who you're contracting with, but who are the physical laborers that are going to be on the roof, on property. Who are they, and what are they going to do to your house? So
it's scary as hell when you have literally water dripping into your house, because that water can do damage to your entire house, our most valuable investment. But obviously I can't get my house re-roofed in a day either. So when you come out and you do realize that I have some issues that I need a new roof, how do we prevent any further damage? How do we mitigate that damage?
Yeah, so we mitigate it by putting emergency tarps into place. So whether we visit your home and the inspection concludes that we're going to go, out of pocket through you, or if you want to navigate the insurance process, either way, we're going to get a tarp over that house for you so that the immediate damage can stop, and kind of get you settled in there and be able to bridge the gap between today to when we're actually going to be able to replace that roof for you.
Gotcha. What kind of time period am I looking here? I mean, probably a few days before you can get out, or what?
For inspections?
Yeah, to come out and see me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like we're getting out to people's houses within a day or so after they call.
Okay.
We're full. We've got a large team, so we're full on our schedule, and we're driving all over the state right now to do that. So we can come out and check everything out and do a full inspection, and like Justin said, at no cost, and just make sure the house is safe and give you an honest assessment, of what's actually happening.
I mean, I think the honest assessment is very important to you. You don't want to get yourself far down the road and then your insurance company just denies you or whatever. But I think a lot of you have also seen some water damage in your house on the ceiling, and you've thought, well, I'll wait a while before I call anyone. You're not an expert in this. You don't know what damage that could be doing and doing quickly to your house when these guys are going to come out literally within a day or two. And if there is something going on, they're going to tarp it. We're going to proceed to get this house re-roofed for you. We're going to have your roof replaced, which is so important to prevent further damage.
Absolutely, yeah. And the thing about that too is, we're coming out to so many inspections that just really have no issues whatsoever. There's been some like wind-driven rain coming in, some anomalies, some outlier stuff, and we have no problem telling people, we actually enjoy doing that there's no problems on the roof. Give them a good, clean bill of health and send them on their way with a peace of mind.
And I think that's important. You talk peace of mind, because maybe you do see a little stain or something. That doesn't always mean you have to have your house, a brand new roof on your house.
Correct.
But you're freaked out about it. As a homeowner who doesn't work in roofing like you guys do, you see a little stain and you think that the house is collapsing. But have you come out there for free and say, you're good.
Yep.
You're good to go. Call us if it gets worse. That gives the homeowner a lot of peace of mind, and because you're not hurricane chasers, that's the kind of thing that you do for people.
Yeah, absolutely. We can tell people too, when they find that anomaly or one-time leak, a lot of times we can track it down and kind of figure out, hey, it was actually a crack in the stucco, and wind-driven rain just hit that crack all day long and water made its way in, or maybe through the soffits, and it had nothing to do, with your actual shingles or the underlayment of your house. So just helping track those things down for people gives them peace of mind as well.
Of course. Cory, Justin, always a pleasure to see you guys. Do yourself a favor, please, right now, 407-205-0400. Protect your most important asset, your most valuable asset, which is your house, from water intrusion. And look, everyone's seen a little something in their house right now. 2 hurricanes is going to do that. Call Universal Roof and Contracting today. We'll be right back to wrap it up with a good buddy of mine, and we'll close out You Have Real Estate as we continue.
You can be an agent that struggles to get ahead in the competitive real estate world, or you can learn from the best and achieve success. Visit youhaveafutureinrealestate.com and sign up for the Jumpstart program. Get coaching tips and important tools that will help you jumpstart your real estate career. Sign up today and get 10% off your Jumpstart program when you use code word LEARN. Visit youhaveafutureinrealestate.com today and gain the real estate knowledge you need to succeed.
Hi, my name is Dallas Lehman, president of You Have Mortgage. Everyone knows rates are rising, but did you know Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac remind us historically 30-year fixed rates have averaged around 8%, meaning current rates remain low. One of the best hedges against inflation and protecting your money while retirement accounts plummet is home ownership with safer equity. Rent continues to skyrocket as Realtor.com reports an average of 19.3% increase year over year and climbing. In most cases, it is still cheaper to own. And finally, there are a number of excellent loan programs available so you don't lose another dollar or throw your hard-earned money away on rent. Call me today and let's tailor a winning solution for you to own your home. Your Under One Roof team is always here for you.
And a very special treat to finish up the day here on You Have Real Estate, my good buddy, and the host of the TED Show. I mean, Ted Bogart's here, number one.
What's
I
up?
love you. You're like
I
the man
love
about
you.
town, of course. Tell me about your shows. What are you doing right now?
Gosh, we are at 1,500 episodes.
Wow.
We just hit that milestone, which is really awesome. The show is really just blossoming. We have fans all over the world. I think the pandemic helped really expand that. And the show just continues to be this little engine that could and has a life of its own. And it's a passion project.
How do I watch the TED Show?
You can watch it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook.
You kind of work with LPT some in regards to this mortgage product. It's a wholesale mortgage product. What does that mean for someone who hears wholesale versus residential, commercial? What does that mean?
So on the mortgage side, there are mortgage brokers, and that's what I am with Future Home Loans. And it's kind of like being an independent insurance agent. You have different homeowner insurance companies or auto companies when you're an independent insurance agent. Mm-hmm. You have the same thing when you're a mortgage broker. And Mortgage Lit is the wholesale arm that we are working with currently right now. They have launched probably earlier this year, but really going gung-ho. And what I love about the product is that it's got the mastermind behind it. And that means that it's very well thought out and very easy to use from an LO, loan officer perspective.
When you start looking at mortgages on a macro level, not just giving a mortgage to someone buying a house, what do you think they're looking at macro-wise for these rates over the next 6 months to a year?
So we had a little bit of a rate reduction, a rate lowering this past week, which is great. And I think it's just a sign of the pendulum swinging back and becoming a little more stabilized. Do I think that the rates are going to go back into the twos? No, I don't see that happening. But there's a lot of options out there. There's 3-2-1 buy downs. There's all these things that if you talk to a mortgage broker or lender, that they can find a solution for you. Just don't expect it to be in the twos again. But I do think that we are seeing it stabilize across the board.
What about you personally? Any more media projects coming up, or is the TED Show enough for you?
The TED Show there's a couple of regional companies that want to do more with the TED Show. And I'm finding that is going to take a lot of time, and so we're just kind of milling through that and make sure that we have the right messaging and the right people behind it. Because as you know, doing a show is a lot of work. There's a lot of people involved, and you want the message to reflect you and your personality and what you're trying to get out there.
Our dear friend Ted Bogart, check out the TED Show. Great to see you.
Great to see you, buddy.
Downtown soon, I hope, for a cocktail, lunch,
or
something
two.
like that. Thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
all our guests today. Most importantly, thank you for joining me here every single weekend for You Have Real Estate. You want to sell your home? I'll show it off right here if you would like. Won't charge you a single penny. Need to get pre-approved? You can do that. Everything right here. 407-205-0400. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate.
Do you want to feature your home for free on our show? My name is Vivian Lehman with You Have Realty, and we've come up with a comprehensive marketing strategy to get your home sold quickly. Whether buying or selling, we have all the resources for your real estate transaction: builder, insurance, title, mortgage, and we might even know Justin Clark. All under one roof. Call us at 407-205-0400.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.